welcome to another episode of The Unaffiliated. I'm Gray Star here with my partner in crime, J-Man. And we have a special guest today, Lori Montoya with BikerDown.org. She was supposed to be on with us a couple weeks ago and couldn't make it. And I convinced her to come on back on. So, Lori, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell everybody who you are, what you're about, and all that.
Well, my name is Lori Montoya, and I'm president and founder of Biker Down Foundation out of Denver, Colorado. For over almost 12 years now, we've been helping injured motorcycle riders with their recovery after an accident. And we just do all that we can. We donate medical equipment, financial strategy, legal help if you need it. We do. People always say, "What does Biker Down do?" And I always say, "I don't know. What do you need?" But I have found that 12 years of helping injured riders has really led me to this service that I can provide the biker community at a time when they need assistance the most is after an accident.
Right. So, do they contact you, or do you like look in the paper and say, "Oh, there was a bike accident. Maybe I should reach out"? How does that work?
Well, primarily the protocol is always that if you know of someone that's gone down or you have gone down yourself, is that you must do a help request on bikerdown.org. We must be requested to help. I always tell people, just because I see it on Facebook, just because I say, "Oh, you're in my thoughts and prayers," doesn't lock you in to Biker Down's assistance.
Okay.
One thing that I try to do is I try to do a full intake. I really get all up in their business. And the reason that I do that is funds are precious. So when I'm interviewing somebody or a family member, I'm like, okay, what did they do for work? Now, first of all, are they okay? Second of all, where's the bike? Third of all, what do they do for a living?
Fourth, should the first one be, how's the bike?
Well, and by normal standards, yes. It depends on what kind of bike it is, but yeah, no, it's usually the first question after an accident rider wakes up and says, "I love you," is where the hell's my bike? So I always do consider that an important factor. And actually, in all seriousness, people are so stressed out at the hospital. The police tend to release the bike after the investigation, and then it sits and it accumulates storage fees. So
Right.
it's real important. Everything is a timeline and a chess game. And ignorance of the law is not a defense, because you've really got to know after an accident, how many days do people keep surveillance camera videos? So let's just say you got hit in front of a 7-Eleven or at an intersection. You need to get those camera videos as quickly as possible before they get erased.
Right.
If you got a hit and run accident, that's going to be probably one of the only ways you're going to either find the driver or be able to prove to your insurance company that you were hit. So there's a lot of things that are super important. So I do a pretty intensive intake of the accident. And to be honest with you, it tells me if you have a personal injury case. And it seems sometimes extremely insensitive. My husband's in an induced coma and you're asking me all these questions, but every day is a week, every week is a month, every month is a year. And so it's really important that while they're recovering, things need to get done. Insurance companies will begin to call. It's important to put your Facebook on privacy. So knowledge is power to injured riders, and to their family members who are just as stressed out as the accident victim, but the accident victim has 12 people in ICU taking care of them. So the family's like, what are we going to do? We're going to lose our house. We're going to lose this. And I'm like, you're not going to lose your house. If you're going to lose your house 3 days post injury, you were already losing your house.
Right.
And I mean, I know that sounds harsh, but we have,
It hurts.
We can't just look at it and go, oh my God, we have to do this. We need to find out what you did for a living. Do you have short-term disability? What kind of insurance do you have? That gives me an overall picture of just how bad the accident is and how are we going to keep our nose above water. We're not going to be able to. Biker Down cannot fix all the problems. And actually, a lot of the times it isn't about writing you a check. It's about guiding you to save your own money, financial strategies, getting you in front of the best motorcycle attorneys that I can, because every TV ad person on TV now wants to do motorcycle accidents, because 85% of the injuries sustained by a biker are worse. They're not in it because they love motorcycle riders. They're in it because how
Money.
injured they are.
Right.
They're in it for the
Yeah.
money.
Makes
So
sense.
it's important that people understand what a true motorcycle attorney really is.
So do you
Yeah.
work hand in hand with someone, say like Law Tigers?
Um, I have worked with Law Tigers when we were first founded.
Okay.
That was over 12 years ago, and they're no longer a sponsor. I choose to work with more intimate type of motorcycle law firms.
Okay.
When an accident victim calls the law office and has to reintroduce themselves and give them a case number, that's not a good firm for me. That's not, I need you to be a litigator. I need you to do 70% of your cases are motorcycle accidents. I need to know that you're vetted in the motorcycle community. I really don't care that you ride a motorcycle. I mean, I know a lot of shitty lawyers that are bikers.
Right.
Yeah.
What I need is you to be a litigator. I need you to not be afraid of insurance companies. I need you to have enough money under your belt to take maybe a politically incorrect case to trial. There's no doubt there's enough motorcycle accidents out there for everybody. So, kudos to Law Tigers. They have a great marketing program and everything else. And I've heard a lot of good experiences about it. For the Fit for Biker Down, I want the law firm to be in that state. I want them to know that law in that state. I don't want them to be putting it out to somebody. There's other big names who I won't
cookie
say
cutter, yeah.
that just farm it out to other people. And I don't want that. I want
Good.
the lawyer to be able to go to the hospital and hold the hand of a family member. It's just a more personal, intimate type of setting. And I feel that there are so many other variables that come into a motorcycle accident that I'll see people go, oh, I'm sorry, I'm only handling your personal injury. No, you're my freaking lawyer. And I need you to be my lawyer. And I need you to tell me what to do. I got this in the mail. I don't know what to do. So, we kind of take a little bit of a different approach here at Biker Down as far as motorcycle sponsors, but clearly, and no disrespect to anybody, I couldn't do what I do if I didn't have the motorcycle law firms that are sponsors of us. I couldn't do what we do.
Right.
Because not every person that I meet is a member of Biker Down or donating. So, we have to have a revenue stream to enable us to, Amazon sends you a toilet seat riser and a wheelchair and, this and that. And in fact, this week I probably spent $2,000 on groceries, gas cards, and the things that someone needs while they're waiting for their GoFundMe money or their Biker Down Fund Me, or they're waiting on their settlement. Times are tough out there, and
Sure, no doubt.
it's tough. So,
Yeah.
I couldn't do what I do without them, but I'm not a front for the law firms. But make no mistake, I'm a paralegal for 15 years. And I know that the minute that driver hit you, once they call home, they're calling their insurance company, who's already trying to figure out how to not pay you.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
That's their job, to figure
So-
out how to not pay you.
Are you guys, do you help all states nationwide?
We will help riders nationwide. We were founded in Colorado. We have a chapter in Nevada, Arizona, Florida, and we are probably launching a chapter in Missouri and Illinois in the next few months.
Okay.
Definitely, I help people in Texas, from New York to Oregon. I mean, don't ever be afraid to do the help request. Because a lot of times I can spend an hour or two on the phone with you and help you more than sending you $100 check.
Yeah.
Well, not to mention the lawyers. Can you help with doctors and specialists and things like that?
I don't really get into the medical side of it because one, I'm a paralegal and there's a lot of liability in that. That's really for the doctors and the lawyers to determine. My really goal is to keep your nose above water. The first thing that anybody feels after an accident is, oh my God, one, I am so underinsured. 70% of all drivers have no insurance. And just got told I'm going to be out of work for 6 to 9 months.
Right.
So that's my number one concern. There's a reason that there's doctors in hospitals and rehabs and lawyers will get you doctor. I don't need to mess with any of that. My goal is solely to keep the lights on, keep food in the fridge, and make sure nobody takes anything away from you.
Okay, so I got to ask, what got you started doing this? Did you have an accident or know someone that did?
No, I was a ride on the back kind of gal, and I was riding here in Golden Gate Canyon with 12 of my friends that we rode together a lot, and the boys were getting it. The boys were getting it in the canyon, and the girl was trying to keep up with them, and she missed a turn, hit gravel, and went right into a barbed wire fence. And, I'm in shorts and thigh-high boots, and off the bike we go, and there's 12 people, and not one person had a trauma kit. Not one person knew what to do. Our cell phones didn't work. We're on one lane traffic going each way. We're trying to direct traffic, but we're bogging it down so badly because nobody wants to move her.
Right.
And people are staring and stuff. And we finally got somebody to call 5 minutes to get up from Denver.
Right.
No, I'm here.
Okay. You paused.
Are you here?
Yeah.
Do I keep going? Okay.
Yeah,
and stuff. So finally, but what upset me the most is there was 4 or 5 sets of sunglasses, 3 rain gears, 1 or 2 bottles of water. Nobody had Jack, and so she just sat there bleeding, and we're ripping T-shirts and things like that. And, I had no business directing traffic the way I was, but, everybody's in shock. And anyway, we get down to the hospital, and you have to understand back then Colorado had something called a red card. And so the police were trying to question her and get her to admit she had smoked before she got on the bike. And so here comes this obnoxious little paralegal blonde. And I told him to get the F back. I said, she'd tell you she shot John F. Kennedy if you asked her right now. She's medicated. You got no business asking her anything. You can come back tomorrow when the doctor approves her to talk, And so, of course, I went back and told my friends, and I'm like, okay, well, who do I call? I'm Miss Organizer. What do I do? What's the plan? And she lost her job. She had no insurance. She had to go move in with her ex. I mean, the whole story just was tragic. And I kept saying, well, what do you mean there's no one I can call to help injured riders? I said, we write for every dog, cat, mouse, kid, cancer, and no offense to any of those things. Are you really telling me there's nobody out there that helps injured riders? And there was, but none of us knew of it. And I said, well, there is now. I'm going to start it. And everybody told me I couldn't do it. And it's been tried before. And, and certainly at the beginning, I wanted to water your plants, send you food, snowplow your driveway, maybe go get the bike. I had no idea what I was in for. But the first accident victim asked me for medical equipment. So I called Craigslist, bought medical equipment. I was so proud of myself. Took it to the hospital. I was like, yeah, Well, now I've got a garage. I've got satellite locations all over the country that are filled with medical equipment, wheelchairs, the things that a biker really needs. And so what I really feel we did right was we listened. Pardon me? We will take donations. Absolutely.
Process is asking if you have trauma kits that people can carry on the bike.
Oh, darling, I have them on bikerdown.org. Go to the store. I'll send you guys the link. I got a little button down here that says chat with everybody in the studio, right? Does that mean that the people watching can see it?
Yep.
Oh, no. Anyway, I'll get the link because we have some really good tactical trauma kits that are, we created them with the motorcycle trauma tourniquets, breathing devices. You're dealing with blood, gloves, hand sanitizer, burn cream, cold compresses. You can't just go to Walmart and get, bandages. That's
Right.
just not gonna cut it. But anyway, long story short, we feel like we listened to what the bikers really needed the first couple years and created a program that works really well through that protocol of doing the help request. Let's talk to the family, see what they need. And I'll give you an example of one of the ways I just helped someone today. And I was like, well, don't pay the bike payment. And she's like, what do you mean don't pay the bike payment? I said, okay, he just had an accident a week ago. It's got a loan on it. You need to call the dealer, or the finance company on Monday. You need to ask for 2 payments on the back end of the note. You need to move 2 payments on the back end of the note. You don't need to tell him you've been in a motorcycle accident. You say he's in the hospital.
Right.
How much is your bike payment? $600. I just saved you $1,200. Do you have a car payment? Yeah, we both do. Mine's $800. Mine's $450. You do the same thing with your car payments. I just saved you almost $4,200. Now, what I'm saying is that's $4,200 less you need to stress about right now. You can now probably come up with your house payment.
Yeah, good idea. That's awesome.
So it's those kind of financial strategies. And that's what I'm saying. When you're talking to someone and you realize that they're going to get 6 months of short-term disability, 60% of the income, then we have to fill in this blank, of how do we make up for that? So it's really, every case is different, but it is probably one of the most fulfilling things I've ever done. I think when people hang up the phone from me, I think you can tell from speaking to me, I have a real passion for this. And I always tell people every bad thing that ever happened in my life, God didn't do it, but God has certainly used this as a service to the biker community. So if you tell me you're a widow and you can't make it, I'm a widow. You put one foot in front of the other, you breathe in and out. You can do it. I've rebuilt my life more times than I care to admit. I've watched everything, the diamonds go, the furs, every car. I've lost everything more times than I care to admit, but I've always received the blessing down the road. So don't get fixed. Don't do a George Carlin. It's just stuff. Yeah. But the other thing is when you have an accident victim and say it's a hit and run and they don't have insurance, they're not taking care of their stuff, and they make a little too much for Medicaid. Okay, so they can't get on Medicaid. They're going to get hit with these obnoxious medical bills. What are we going to do? Well, you know what? We're going to raise $2,000. We're going to send you to a bankruptcy attorney, and we're going to make the medical bills go away. That's why when I see fundraisers that say medical bills, the reality is no one's ever going to pay a medical bill because your anesthesiologist bill for your first surgery is going to be $25,000.
Yep. Yep.
My husband broke 3 ribs and was out of the hospital here in Colorado in 2 hours. Their bill was $45,000. So you're not going to raise that kind of money. You're just not. So it's better to be what I consider more forthright than say, we're going to use this money to stay afloat and to keep a roof over our head and to keep the lights on and things like that. So I just, I always cringe a little bit when I see the medical bills because you're just not gonna ever raise that kind of money. We live in a fundraising world where you better get yours on right away and you better tell all your friends because in 3 days, there's going to be 2 more accidents.
Right.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Because I was just right. I started a second job doing concert security here locally. I'm in actually Ogden, Utah, by the way. So
okay, I love Utah.
Yeah, and driving down the freeway, man, all I saw were people on the phones. It pisses me off so bad.
Well, I never thought that I'd have to get into motorcycle awareness either, and 60% of all drivers are texting and driving. They just are. We all remember a time when I could smoke a cigarette, eat a cheeseburger, and drive with my knee.
Yeah.
I'm 59 years old. We all know how to do that. That just because you can doesn't mean you should. And we also, the traffic is a lot different than it was 40 something years ago.
There's
And
a hell of a lot more cars on the road.
yes,
Well,
but
and not everybody has got their face like this.
yeah. But the other thing is we're raising generations of people that have no impulse control when they're driving, meaning from the moment my grandchildren came out of the womb, they were handed an iPad or a cell phone
Right.
to watch YouTube videos to get through dinner. So that impulse control, that level of communication is just so different. So when that phone dings, you want to know who it is. And so, it just is a terrible fact. But, I can't tell you how many people 35 and over that are texting and driving. And, I'm kind of cute. So I'll honk at them and go, hey, roll down your window. Get off the fucking phone.
Good for you.
I mean, it's illegal here in Colorado. It's illegal in most states.
Most states, yeah.
And stuff, but they just, what they do in the course of their car is, they just don't realize the injuries.
The wife tells me all the time, you're going to get your ass kicked. Well, they're on their phone. I'm going to run into them for them.
Yeah. Well, actually, what I did for my husband, I need to do a reprint, is I got him these squares that said, honk at me, I text and drive. Because I told him, I said, you're going to get shot. I'm just telling you right now. One of these days, window's going to come down as you're flailing your arms, telling them to get off the effing phone, and they're just going to blow you away. I said, so just take this magnet, stick it on the back of their car, and then get out of their way. All day, people will be honking at them, and they won't understand why.
Yep.
And so those are actually, we had quite a bit of fun with that because he's got real long arms and he just flap that sucker on the back and flip them off and keep going.
Funny.
But that's the problem is that, the biggest thing about motorcycle awareness is the fact that everybody's uninsured. The words that a driver usually says after they hit a biker is, I didn't see him. And the 6 words that a biker usually says after an accident is, I didn't realize how uninsured I was. Actually 7. But you know what I'm saying? Is right. That we're just not, and I don't want to say we're not educated enough. We're wanting the best deals. And when we're calling 1-800-PROGRESSIVE or State Farm, or, we're talking to some lady who's working remotely in her kitchen.
Right.
Her only job is to close you on a policy. Her job is not to say, oh, no, sir, you ride a motorcycle. You need to have uninsured motorists. They don't want to sell you uninsured motorists because then they have to pay you. They have to pay you more. If you get MedPay, they don't want you to get MedPay. They know that when you're calling that number that you're looking for the lowest price for insurance that gets you your tags.
Right.
So what I always tell, oh, sorry, go ahead.
We have a friend in the UK. Her name is Flossie. Florence Grace here says, Lori is very passionate about the cause. It would be reassuring to have you in your corner. So the question to me now comes, have you thought about going over the pond or maybe up to Canada?
I think we need to perfect it here. I actually have some people down under. I had an accident victim like my first year he did the Ride the Wall, and he was from down under. I never knew that the Ride to the Wall brought Vietnam veterans from all over the world.
Yes, it does.
Did not know that. And these guys were from Australia, and they were riding from California to DC, and huge accident. And anyway, he always said, I'm going to do a biker down under, I have people in Canada, but there's 2 good organizations in Canada.
Okay.
And I'll be honest with you, there's one called and I get confused with them all the time, the Bikers Down Society. Okay. And then One Broke Biker, I think it is. They're both out of Canada.
Okay.
And so, there's I think COVID doesn't help, but COVID has done one blessing for me, is that I used to spend a tremendous amount of time trying to go to the hospital, but we've all learned how to Zoom now, and we all know how to FaceTime. And so I've been able to work more remotely, which has allowed me to really expand in the past couple years because I'm not rushing to the hospital. We're just getting on FaceTime, and so now I can help you a lot more, a lot faster. And, and if you're in a state, like let's just say Georgia, where I have some volunteers, but I don't have a chapter. If I need to send you an Amazon wheelchair and all that, I mean, it's a few clicks and it's on its way. If I need to send you food, it's Instacart or Walmart delivery and it's there. So
Right.
I've been able to be very blessed during this pandemic and stuff to roll with the times and get better at Biker Down. Then it's actually taught me a lot on how to help bikers better.
Cool.
So if someone's in Canada and really needs my help, I'd be honored. Do the help request. Be happy to talk to them. But there are two good organizations in Canada.
Right. Have you ever talked to any of them?
Mm-hmm.
Or,
Yep, they follow me on Facebook and watch what we're doing. What I've always actually wanted to do was have what we call a Biker Down Summit. Because I didn't invent the wheel of helping injured motorcycle riders. I mean, we all know there's fallen riders, there's this one, and I don't want to ever discount any organization that is trying to help an injured rider. But as you can tell, I'm not your poker run gal. I'm not, oh my God, they're injured. We need to put 50 or 75 more bikers on the road. I'm like, there's other ways to fundraise and stuff. But please don't discount the fact that in certain areas that works very well for people. So, I commend anybody, but I think that we need to have a Biker Down Summit where anybody that's helping injured motorcycle riders in whatever capacity could come to one location, spend a couple days, and really just power meet with people that are doing it and what's working in Colorado and what's working in Utah and what's working in Oregon. And here's what we're doing in Florida, and I think it would really be helpful because, the biggest thing that anybody listening to this show can do is do an insurance review. And do not tell me you have full coverage, you're all good. Because full coverage is a myth.
You never have enough, yeah.
no.
Well, full coverage only covers your bike.
Right.
And if you hit someone, it replaces your bike, hopefully, if you have gap insurance. But it's a myth. You want, you call the insurance company, go, I want everything that you got. Well, that's what they're going to sell you. They are not going to say, well, sir, you live in a state where there's, you're prone to motorcycle accidents. You need to have at least $250,000 of uninsured motorists. And the reason you need to have at least 100,000, but I suggest 250, is that 70% of all drivers out there right now are driving without insurance.
You got me questioning mine, and I had full coverage with Geico. So yeah. I think I'm gonna go check it out.
I mean, you ask them one simple question: if I get hit by a hit and run driver and leave, what happens to me when I can't work for 6 months?
Right. If you
That's
don't have
the question.
Aflac, you're kind of screwed.
Yeah. Well, even if you have Aflac, it depends on the extent of your accident. So let's stay with insurance, and I'll get to Aflac because we offer that in our Biker Down membership.
Okay.
But having the uninsured motorist, people are hitting and running and leaving bikers for dead on the side of the road. And so, spend a little bit now for $250,000 down the road.
Yeah.
Because that's what you're going to need to recover for 6 to 9 months.
Right.
To pay, there's no such thing as an $800 apartment.
Who's got the train? Is that you,
Not me.
Yeah, it's me. Yeah, I got a train.
So,
Cincinnati sucks, man. Ohio.
Hey.
Don't make fun of my Midwest people. They're my people. I'm
do all
originally
the
from
time.
St. Louis. But, in all seriousness, I've had a lot of club people tell me, well, we take care of our own. Well, you don't have $2,500 to pay a house payment or an apartment payment nowadays anymore. It isn't
some
like
clubs do. That doesn't necessarily mean they're going to do it.
But you know what I'm saying? It was an old adage of, well, we'll take care of them. But we're living in different times. And so I'm saying spend a little bit now to have that coverage.
Yeah.
So in the event of an accident, you're going to be fine. You know, you're going to get that. You're going to get lost wages. You're going to get pain and suffering. You may never find that person that plowed into you. And if you do, they probably don't have insurance, or they have the most basic minimum, and they have a warrant out for back child support. So they left you for dead on the side of the road.
They ran.
Or they're fucking illegal.
Okay, we'll go there too. I've got no problem going there. But you know what I'm saying? And so when people tell me that they can't afford it, you can't afford not to have it. And if you can't, for some reason, afford the uninsured motor, and you need to find out in your state if your coverage can carry over from your vehicle. So as an example, in Colorado, I can have uninsured motorist on my car. Covers anything I drive. So if I'm on my bike and I get hit, that uninsured motorist from my car can carry over onto my bike.
I have USAA, and I think I can do that, but I'm going to double check.
Yeah,
Sure.
but that's what I'm telling everybody. You don't throw a leg over your bike until you can honestly say, I know exactly what coverages I have. You don't put a woman on the back of your bike and drive with no license, you know, liability on, you know what I'm saying? And so that's all I'm saying is we're getting into the conversations now of saying motorcycle awareness begins with me. They are not listening to us when we say, watch for motorcycles. They are not listening to us when we say, look twice, save a life. You know, they're just not listening to us. So motorcycle awareness has to begin with us. And we have to make sure that we are covered. And that will, so if you have that, now you can make the decision what motorcycle attorney you want, because it don't matter who you like. If you don't have these coverages, they're going to look at you and go, well, I'm sorry, there's nothing to get.
Right.
You know, and now we're doing a fundraiser. Now we're doing this, and now you're selling things and things like that. And it just doesn't have to be, you know, give up an $85 Harley shirt. You know, like women, come on, give that up. Give up a piece of we can give up a few little things to have the coverages that we need. And we really can.
Yeah, absolutely we can.
So say somebody's interested in starting up a chapter in their area. Would they just get a hold of you?
What I would normally tell people is that this is a really serious type of endeavor. And I would suggest that before they dive all into the deep end of the pool, that they be a biker advocate and volunteer for a while. You know, and I've had people that have lost someone. It's touched them emotionally. They want to help someone. They walk right in the hospital. All those memories flood back to them, and they go, sorry, I can't do this. And because I take, you know, I've always said that I have gone through a lot of years of haters and people judging me and blah, 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 blah. As long as accident victims aren't complaining, that's what I care about. So my point is, you know, I take motorcycle accidents super serious. So we would have them shadow me for probably a few months on calls, and we'd videotape them. They would learn the biker down way.
Okay.
And then if they just go, Laurie, you know, I just wake up every day and all I want to do is help injured motorcycle riders like I do, I would say, okay, now we need to go and we need to get you the tent and we need to get you the revenue stream into the chapter. You need, you know, have you filled your garage with Goodwill, good medical equipment? I mean, you can buy a hospital bed for $150. Let's do a motorcycle run where people bring you donated medical equipment. Let's fill a storage bin and let's crawl before we walk and walk before we run. So yes, I would consider it a process.
Okay.
And I would like them to volunteer for a while and kind of really make sure it's in their wheelhouse, because as you know, there's accounting, there's marketing, there's Facebook, there's all this stuff. It isn't just, I want to help injured riders. You take on that level of responsibility, especially when you're a 501c3. I'm going to hold you to the flame.
Right.
You know, you got to get this stuff to me.
As you should.
Yes. And that's why, you know, we haven't, I don't want to say we haven't had huge success with it, but every chapter has been a learning curve of what we need to do better. I mean, we now have a 100-page manual, and now, I need to get better at doing YouTube videos and training things and all that. But, again, I take the process of helping injured motorcycle riders. It's so important to me that stuff has to wait. I've got 12 help requests to do Monday morning, and I'm not leaving my desk until everybody's been contacted. So, right. And I can usually only do about 3 or 4 of them a day. They are quite emotional, and, it takes a very special person to be able to do that. So like I have volunteers that they only deliver and pick up medical equipment. And I have volunteers that only help me at events where it's fun and everything else. So,
Right.
You just got to really figure out what people's skill set is.
For sure.
Before you just really dive in and do that.
So
but we're always welcome.
Say someone wanted to do volunteering. How do they go about doing so? Just contact you through bikerdown.org?
Just contact me through bikerdown.org. Send me a message on Facebook, on Instagram. I'm a pretty easy find. And just say, hey, I want to, and if you don't hear back from me, write me again and say, hey, second time, hey, third time. And I promise you, I'll get back to you. I promise you.
Will eventually. I
will. And stuff. But, and let's just do it. I will say that if you go to Facebook and look, you're in Utah, we have a Biker Down Utah page.
Oh, okay.
And so you can like that page. You can start posting. You can start posting accidents and things like that. Same with Biker Down Texas. I mean, I have 50 states that have the most active ones are Nevada, Colorado, Texas, Illinois, Missouri, Florida, Alabama, and New York.
I didn't even know the page existed for Utah. I'll get on it tonight and start. Yeah,
and just start sharing it with people. And the reason I did that is I think it's great to have a big group page, but I've always been of the mindset that if I'm in Cincinnati, Ohio, I really don't need to see that 12 bikers went down in Nevada.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
And I don't need to see that you've got 6 runs. You know what I'm saying? So people in their areas will start flooding that page with stuff. And so then I lose followers. So then I usually, when I start to see a real big movement, I'll try to guide them to, hey, it's great that you posted that, but you really need to post it on Biker Down Ohio, and get people to start following in Ohio, that Ohio page. Right. So that when a biker goes down, it's getting notified to people that know that are in Ohio that will want to help. So yeah, that would be my first step is that, write me first and then find your state on Facebook and, just let me know how I can help and what we need to do.
Any objections to posting perhaps this live?
No, go ahead. I would love it.
They can go and check it out and watch and learn about.
Put it on Biker Down Colorado. There's over 5,000 people on there. I got to work on Utah.
Okay, well, now you have it in.
You can put it on Nevada. You can put it on Nevada too. Biker Down Las Vegas.
Yep. Okay. We could do that for sure.
That'd be awesome.
The process says think globally, work locally. Yeah, that's pretty much how it should be done. Process, by the way, is a good YouTube friend of ours, and he's up in Idaho. So
yeah, we also have a YouTube channel that has some really good shows the kind of events that we've done. Like I did a customized wheelchair competition. Nobody wants to sit in a wheelchair, but I had a whole bunch of biker groups and organizations customize them. Like one guy did a Thomas train, and Soldiers for Jesus did like where you get electrocuted, and Christian Riders did this. And then some groups in our clubs in Vegas did like a bike with a big chopper front. I mean, we really had just a ton of fun. So if you want to see some of the great warm and fuzzy things that Biker Down does, we do a lot within the community. We adopt families for the holidays.
I'll tell you what, we've had discussions about this plenty of times on our show about how generous the biker community really is.
Oh, yeah.
Bikers in general, we get those stupid stereotypes that we're all bad. We're all sons of anarchy. All we do is shoot people, and
But I like Sons of Anarchy.
come on, let's be real. That's not who we are. Most of us work a full-time job. Most of us get on the bikes on the weekends, maybe once or twice during the week for a night ride or something. But when there's a a down biker or a good
Or a child,
car,
a child, a dog. I've got an ingrown toenail. I need a poker run.
yeah,
Hell yeah, let's go. You got
any
an
reason
ingrown
for a party,
toenail,
right?
dude. I got a bunion. I really need to get it removed.
Exactly.
And
Yeah,
give us
bikers
a
are-
reason. We
Bikers
pay
are-
for the privilege to ride
right. Yep.
in a free world
It
where
really
we
is.
shouldn't have to pay. And that's one thing that I find one of the reasons it makes my life and my fundraising efforts twice as hard is because most people don't realize this 93% of all biker rides every weekend are going to organizations outside of the biker community. I mean, and again, I mean, no disrespect to Children's Hospital or a kid that has cancer or Bikers Against Diabetes. And I really don't, this is just why you can take 100 people on a ride. That money goes outside of the community, but if that rider goes down, they're calling biker down.
Right.
Yeah, they're not going to be calling St. Jude's.
Yeah, say, excuse me, can I have my 20 back?
Right.
So it is. And again, I don't want to discount because I am one of the most charitable people you'll ever want to meet. But it does tax the biker dollar of what they're willing to spend because they're spending 20. I mean, it used to be 15 for a rider, 10 for the passenger, and I just saw the other day 35.
Have
for
you
the
ever
rider.
thought about, or do you already go to rallies, say like Sturgis?
I'm at Sturgis from the 5th. I go to Sturgis every single year.
Okay.
And the purpose of me only going to Sturgis, besides the fact I love it, is to be there in the event a biker goes down. So I spend a tremendous amount of time at Rapid City. My husband and I will go up with some medical equipment, like 3 or 4 wheelchairs. It's the time of year, and I mean no disrespect. I like the walkers that have the brakes and the seat on them, but I get a ton of those silver tennis ball walkers. And so we'll take a whole bunch of those up in crutches because if a biker's injured, and it's not, they're going to be there for a long time, they get released. So now they're back at full throttle. We'll just use that as an example, or the Chip or Glencoe where I'm at, and they're hobbling around because no one's going home.
Yeah, because they couldn't afford the crutches because the ER is going to tax you $1,000 for a set of crutches.
Yeah, so they hobble out, and so if anybody at Sturgis will go to bikerdown.org, do the help request, say, hey, I'm at Rapid City Hospital. I'm getting ready to get released and I need this. I will do my best to help you. I want to be careful when I say help you get home. But I have flown, like, it's such a serious accident that everybody eventually has to go home.
Right.
And the rider's sitting there at the hospital and we've just, he's taken a mouthful of pain pills. We've shoved him on a flight to Denver to get him home in 45 minutes as opposed to an 8-hour drive in a truck.
Right.
So we'll do our best to, and that's the other good thing of having this team of law firms all over the country. Like, let's just say I had a writer go down that was from Florida and he needed to get back to Florida. I could probably get some assistance from that law firm in Florida to help get him home.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Your insurance ain't going to cover that.
Right.
Or we could help, put it out to our network of people and saying, hey, who's from Florida that's heading back? Do you got room for an extra bike? Or if the bike's trashed, then we can figure out, we'll put him on a plane, we'll get him home. Or if worst case scenario, we're going to fly a relative to South Dakota. So, I mean, we don't do that in every case. Please don't misunderstand me. But in those severe accidents where we need to, we'll do whatever we need to do.
See, and you don't even, as a regular rider, you don't sit there and think about that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You just don't. Like, how am I going to get home after an accident if I'm 650 miles away? You know?
That's why having that uninsured motorist or underinsured motorist, you know what I'm saying? You can, your lawyer can help you, or I can help you, and you can say, listen, I've got this, and I know I'm going to get a settlement, and then I can open up the purse strings a little bit more. I'm not doing it one for the other, but you see what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean,
yeah.
I know we all want to take our bike home to Florida, but dude, your bike is done. So let's get your bike to the Harley dealer in Rapid City. Let's get your insurance agent there to total it. Let's get you a check. Let's get you home. But not everybody has that mindset while they're in Sturgis. So I've been going, this will be I went in 2008, so 14 years, I guess now.
So do you have a tent that you put up out there, or whatever?
Well, I've done that, but Biker Down can't afford the $5,000 booth space and the license and everything else. So we stay at Glencoe. I've always stayed at Glencoe. Glencoe's a little bit easier accessibility wise than to be at the Chip or Full Throttle.
There's a reason I'm asking this, because there's a possibility I might be up there this year, because my boy Process is going and another YouTuber that I know is going, so I might crash their party.
Okay.
But if I do, I'd really like to come say hello.
Well, I have a booth that I'm sharing with motorcycle safety lawyers out of Illinois. David Schumann has graciously offered. So I will be an easy find on, I think it's on Main Street, across from the Sturgis Harley Davidson Museum, or the Hall of Fame. That's what it is, the Hall of Fame. I'll be there, but I'll be super accessible, moving around. I'm going to do the Biker Bell ride and then the Legends ride at the Chip. I have a Sturgis quilt that goes from 1976 all the way to 1980, to the 80th year, I think it is, or the 79th anniversary. Oh, nice. And I made this quilt. T-shirt quilts are really easy to do. Everybody takes all their T-shirts, but to get T-shirts from Sturgis that go all the way back to 1976. And the reason I couldn't go back further is they didn't make official rally T-shirts.
Right.
Before 1976.
That's cool.
So I'm going to have that at the Legends ride at the Chip, and Woody has agreed to split the proceeds of that quilt with his charity, which is usually Special Olympics and Biker Down. So I'm going to be moving around, but I'm a super easy find. Cool. And we'll do all that we can to help injured motorcycle riders if they need us.
Right. That's cool. J-Man, you're awfully quiet, bro.
She's answered everything that I was even going to talk about. So,
well, it's not my first rodeo, but I do want to talk about the Aflac, because you did mention that.
Yeah.
So one thing I learned after I founded Biker Down is that I really didn't realize how much people were asked to be a member of, AMA, and you're asked to be a member of ABATE, and you're asked to be a member of HOG. And, you can literally spend $500 renewing your biker, memberships to all these organizations. So the one thing that I would say to everybody is we have a $35 a year membership that includes motorcycle roadside assistance. Now, a lot of people that are listening are going to go, oh, I've already got that on my insurance. But you don't have a certified motorcycle attorney or a motorcycle tower that will come and get your bike. You call AAA, you're going to get a flatbed.
Yeah.
And stuff. So this is actually through a company called MTS, which is Motorcycle Transport Service. They will dispatch the bike, that has the truck and has the lift and things like that. But when you're riding out in these really remote areas, your insurance with Progressive or State Farm isn't going to cover those remote tows. Like if you were in spearfish and broke down and needed to get back to Sturgis, that's going to be a probably $600 or $700 tow, especially during rally. Yeah. So that's not going to cover it. So you have to learn how to stack your roadside assistance. to get you the furthest distance that you can. So that's $35 a year. You get 2 tows per year at $150. So what I wanted was membership programs that provide value. You know, it cost me $24 a year. You pay $35. Biker Down makes $11. I'm not getting rich off your $35. The next level is a little hard to sell to people because they can't wrap their arms around $35 a month to Biker Down, but that's called our Roadside Plus, and that includes Aflac. So if anyone listening can get Aflac at work, get it. But if you cannot get Aflac at work, you cannot get the Aflac accident policy any less expensive on your own than through the Biker Down membership. And literally that can be the difference of it. First of all, it comes with a $35,000 accidental death benefit. And that doesn't sound like a lot, but at my age, to go to an insurance company and ask for $50,000 of life insurance, I'm going to pay more than $35 a month.
Yep.
You know, so it works on you get so much for an ambulance. You get $500 or whatever it is to go into the ER. You get $1,200 once you're admitted, you know, overnight. You get $300 a day in ICU. You get $150 a day when you're in a regular hospital room. Then you got to go to rehab for 30 days. You're getting $100 a day in rehab. You lost your leg from the knee down. You're getting a $12,000 check for loss of your appendage. So my point is that you start adding up those really severe accidents of people that we know. And those people are getting substantial checks, tax-free from Aflac that will keep you afloat. If you're in and out with 3 ribs, it's going to probably give you $600 or $700. But for $1.16 a day or $35 a month, it is probably, when it comes to how are we going to survive in a catastrophic type of accident, it's one of the best things. And again, all you have to do is go to bikerdown.org, click membership, and it'll take you right to it. And it also includes the roadside assistance. But you'd be shocked to know how many people don't have motorcycle towing on their bike. I
don't think I do, to be honest with you.
I've got to tow it myself.
I'm taking my Diet Coke and I'm throwing it at the screen. You know what I would say? For $35 a month, why do I got to go wake somebody out of bed to come get me?
Yeah. We're bikers. That's what we're supposed to do.
Yeah. Well, don't call me at 9 or 10 or 1 or 2. I'm gonna be like, "Where's your $35, MF?"
Hey, here's $35. Can you call me a tow truck?
Yeah.
Okay, you're a tow truck.
Click.
Well, hey, Lori, we're bumping up on the hour now, so I want to first say thank you.
Thank you for having me.
It's fucking incredible what you do.
Thank you.
Yes,
I'm gonna probably start looking into doing some volunteering stuff here in Utah. I'm definitely gonna do that Facebook page for sure.
Thank you.
So you have an in here in this state. I mean, hell, we're neighbors.
Yeah, there you go.
Exactly. I can speak for everybody that's been listening. You're awesome. What you do is incredibly fucking awesome.
Thank you.
And we wish there was more people out there like you. God bless you, and keep the rubber side down.
Absolutely. God bless you guys. Ride safe. Just remember, if you go down, we step up.
Yeah,
bye.
Absolutely. And we're going to keep in touch with you, okay?
I hope so. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Thank you
Have a
for
great
being
I'm
on.
leaving studio.
All right. With that, the unaffiliated, I should say, I almost said independent riders. We're out. Peace.
We're out.
Take it easy, Pete.